Right. Thanks, Vic, for allowing me the opportunity to talk to you today. What I'm here to talk about is really the role that buses play in servicing Sydney into the future with the growth in demand and population, and the planning that's required to enable reliable and efficient bus services into the future using service planning, infrastructure and technology as ways to improve our customer outcomes. The role of my team focuses on the productive and sustainable use of roads. So it's not so much about building new roads, it's more about how we can make better use of the existing road network so that customers, like on our buses, can be offered more reliable services. As some of you are aware, hopefully most of you, in New South Wales we recently released our long-term vision for Sydney and the transport and land use planning. Future Transport 2056 is really built on 6 key themes. These are customer focus, successful places, growing the economy, safety and performance, accessible services and sustainable. These 6 themes are going to be the 6 key themes that drive the way we plan our bus services into the future, the role that infrastructure will play in providing better, reliable and efficient networks for our bus customers, and the role that technology will play in making our bus network more efficient, reliable and connected. Sydney's set to grow from around 6 million people to 8 million people over the next 20 years. One of the key parts of planning for this growth is the idea of the metropolis with 3 cities, the eastern city, the central city and the western city. A key part of understanding how we service these 3 cities within a 30-minute by public transport catchment is understanding how we change our bus network, our service planning, what infrastructure is needed and the way we use existing infrastructure and the way we can use technology to offer those services to connect people to those 3 cities within 30 minutes by public transport. A key principles underpinning the way we do that is the role that a connected, integrated public transport system and how it needs to be designed. So buses play an important role in this. It's about providing access to where our mass transit rail doesn't provide access to. It's about connecting and those parts of Sydney that do have rail, and so our systems and our networks complement one another and offer those reliable and connected services for our customers. So to serve those 3 cities, we've developed a plan or a vision for the future of how Sydney's transit network will provide that 30-minute access to our 3 cities. As I said, buses will play an important role through the staging of infrastructure, so where we need more rail in the short and medium term, buses will play an important role in providing that mass transit connectivity. And in the longer term, buses will also play an important role in connecting people to those trunk services on the rail line and providing a more integrated outcome. To enable us to deliver those efficient and reliable bus services, we really need to look at what infrastructure is needed for our buses to travel in a reliable and efficient way. The tools that we have, that we're using in planning for the future is understanding that roads across our city essentially have dual functions. It's to provide movement of people along our corridors, as well as providing access to the key places that people want to get to and from. And essentially we can categorise the function of our road network through the importance of its movement function, as well as how important the places are that exist that we're trying to provide access to. When we understand both the movement and place function, it allows us to prioritise different modes, as well as how important access is to those important places. From the context of bus planning, what we want to do is really want to try and target our improved travel time along those movement corridors where the interaction with the surrounding place is less important, and it's more important to connect people longer distances in a reliable and efficient way. And in the roads that are located within our key centres, where we need to be cognizant of the impact that moving vehicles has on safety, the environment, and the access and amenity of a place. We need to provide, while providing good access for buses to those places so people can move around the city, we need to understand the impact it has on those places. And technology will play an important role in the impact that buses and our networks have on the places that we're trying to create around the city. Once we understand the function of our roads and whether a particular road is important for moving our customers or providing access to places, we can use performance indicators to measure the relative performance for different user groups and for the different functions on different parts of the road, so we can have a more balanced understanding and a more balanced discussion with various stakeholders who plan the use of our road network. From our bus customers' point of view, from a movement perspective, we're trying to achieve a reliable and efficient service. And from a place, we want to have our bus stop facilities and our end-of-trip facilities at a high quality, so that people have a sense of place and safety, so that they feel connected to the network that they're using. We ran a pilot study about 18 months ago for Oxford Street in Sydney, which, for those of you who know Sydney, is quite a vibrant street that provides an important link between the eastern suburbs and Sydney CBD. So the role it plays in our network, specifically our bus network, is critical. There's also really important places along the corridor that we need to be cognizant of and make sure that our movement networks are enabling those places to be vibrant places that attract people to, because ultimately transport is a function of place. People travel because they want to get to and from attractive places, and we need to design our networks, our road environments and our systems to enable those places to be created. An important part of how we prioritise customers within our road space is really understanding who our customers are and how many of those customers are. So as you can see in our pilot study for Oxford Street, bus customers are the most important customer in terms of moving people along the corridor, and that's consistent along its length. So when we're planning the allocation of space, we need to understand that for an efficient bus network that's serving the majority of customers, we need to allocate space in our road network for buses to move efficiently. When we apply our performance assessment to Oxford Street, we can see in a consistent way and in a relative terms how different customers are performing for the different functions that the road network's operating under. So we can see in the case in our pilot study that our bus customers, considering the important role that this particular road plays in serving the network, are not really performing as well as they could be. From a movement perspective, it's at times quite an unreliable service, and the travel speeds are not meeting our targets. And this can be addressed in a number of ways, as I said, through better allocation of space for the road, through to improved technology such as systems in our buses talking to our traffic signals so they can get priority and move more efficiently along the corridor. From a place perspective, our bus customers aren't being served well through the infrastructure that's provided to them and the technology that's provided to them at their origins and destinations. So that's through simple things like shelter and seating and other bus stop facilities, through to technology around bus arrival times and bus travel times and other technology opportunities that offer customers a better outcome from a place perspective. So I guess to wrap up, the way future technology and the role that it'll play in the context of movement and place and the way that we design our urban road environment is going to be critical moving forward. Technology in our buses will improve safety, they'll reduce pollution, possibly reduce layover space and other spatial requirements that we need within our road network, and the opportunity for on-demand services. And all of these technological opportunities can all be used in the way that we plan our services, plan the allocation of infrastructure, and the way we plan our networks into the future. Thank you.